Who's on mute?
Greg.
Greg is on mute. Hello, sir.
There he is.
I'm on mute until I go off mute.
Yeah, he's a self-selected mute. He says dogs can howl in the background. His wife can yell at him and the cat. All righty. Yep. Look what I just did to myself. All right. And I'm wondering where Ron Blanchard is with his engineering, his dock. I know Ron professionally, so I'm gonna make sure we're not wasting our time waiting for him, kind of deal. Pardon me while I call him. I'll mute myself. Okay, he's trying to get on. He's having fun and games. So while we're waiting for him to show up, let's start off the agenda with the meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2019. And thank you very much, Greg, for your excellent job. Anyone have any comments about those minutes?
Oh, they're excellent.
Yeah, as usual. Thank you, Greg, for that. Really appreciate it. You did a good job of not quoting per se. It's one of the things that you can't quote, but you can give some summaries of what people are saying, and that's excellent. If anyone has any questions or concerns at what they were summarized with, by all means, let Greg know, but he gives us that so quickly. It's wonderful. And it did a good job of creating a record on what we discussed and where we think these things are good. Okay, may I have a motion relative to the minutes, seeing as we're getting no comments otherwise?
Make a motion to accept.
Dave Stewart, who's going to be seconding Dave?
I second.
Okay, Andy. All those in favor by roll call vote. Now I got to go back to the minutes so I can say who was there. And okay, roll call vote by sequence in the minutes. The chair is first, so I'll say aye. Dave Stewart.
Aye.
Greg Banner.
Aye.
Andy Timberg.
Aye.
Paul DeWard, are you online? I don't think he's called in yet. Phyllis.
Aye.
Jason.
Aye.
Charles.
Aye.
Okay, great. All done. One of these days I'll make an actual list of people that I can rotate through and no one will feel slighted, right? Public comments. Actions cannot be taken on motions raised on these topics. Topics raised. Anyone have any public comment?
None here.
Not hearing any. So I must compliment Charles on his ability to hide Charlie Smith's Sconnet River documents in a file box my wife created for me and didn't tell me about. And I located the other day when I created my office. And I have actually scanned in the reports, which seem primarily historical. There are a couple of big plans, I mean, the big plans, showing detailed graphics at the bottom of the elevations and such. I'm going to try to find a place to make copies of those, but I've scanned the historic documents. I will forward them to the members tomorrow. And if I can find out where I can get these other plans copied, maybe I'll go up to a client's place and have them copied, but pretty interesting stuff. So I apologize to Charles, who I've asked many times, do you have because I was convinced that he had gotten that report for when he was doing the velocity changes in the basin there. But I now have them. I will get them back to Charlie with my head in hand, as opposed to hat, because he'll tear it off. Any construction reports going on? Anyone have any construction reports? I'm not aware of any. I have not heard from the DPW relative to the 2 letters I sent out. I'll rattle his cage later this week. Sea level rise. Chip, why don't we discuss that at this point, I guess?
Yeah, so you may remember some time ago, I came in with some papers showing what sea level rise would do. And that was under the Rhode Island storm tools. And I looked at those again. So at next meeting, what I'd like to do is go back over those, have us look those over. There are a number of places that will be flooded if we have a tropical storm in 2 feet. 2 feet is quite likely to happen unless the world gets serious. A number of houses, a number of businesses will be underwater. What I'd like to do is go over next meeting with that. From here, we can zoom in. If you have any particular place you want to see, I'll be able to zoom it in by sharing my screen, right? So that's why I'd like to do that. And then I wanted to ask whether we should, at next meeting, whether we should go back to the town council, the new town council, make sure they understand it. And then ask the question, should the businesses and homeowners be informed that they're likely to be underwater? Even some on a less than a tropical storm, what they call the nuisance storm in the newer version of this. Even some houses would go under on that, houses and businesses. So at any rate, I'd like to do that next time, and maybe take a bit longer. It'll take a while to do it, and have any exchange we might want to. So thank you.
I think that's an excellent idea, Chip. I will send an email out to the administrator and the town clerk, the new town clerk, and such, and the administrator's assistant, and specifically pointing that out. And I'll also contact Ms. Cook, who is our liaison, to make sure she's aware of it, and see if we can get them on. They may, I don't know when they meet generally. That's not generally in conflict with us unless we shift our meetings. So we might be able to get them in greater attendance. So you'll have an audience that'll listen, or at least be aware. Have you done any of the analysis of any major king type tides that might be coming up, that we could schedule something during a daytime visit down at Fogland?
Well, that we could do. Yeah, I'll look at the tides and look for when we're going to have a big tide. When the next new moon comes, we might well have a good tide.
Right.
With 2 feet of sea level rise, it will be quite different.
Yeah. Well, a real king tide, a 5.5 footer, is rather radical. I mean,
Call it 7 if that happens then, right?
Exactly. Well, my wife complains that we didn't build our dock higher.
Right. Docks will be underwater, lots of those.
Oh,
Most people, it's their houses, not their docks.
Yeah. Well, it's.
Bruce is high enough. His house is not going to go under.
We looked at a house over in Portsmouth, and I asked the realtor what was the elevation of the house, and she said at the front doorstep is 9. And I said, what's the flood here? What's the flood zone here? She said 16. And my wife asked, what's that mean? And I said, well, that means in theory there'll be 7 feet of water in your living room if a hurricane like the 54 or 38 comes through. To which she turned on her heel, got in the car, and closed the door without saying goodbye. That became one of the standards of houses that we looked at. It could not be flood. All right.
Bill and I are very glad we didn't buy a property across the marsh from where we live, because it will be underwater for sure if we have any kind of hurricane like has happened before, even without sea level rise. So,
right. Let's see, who do we have for participants here? Do we have Jason? I don't think we have the engineer and his client on board yet. All right. He knows how to reach me.
I'm sorry, Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce, I'm here.
Oh,
You're talking to me?
are you visually? Can you be visually here?
Oh, I thought I was.
Nope, you're not. Well, I'm not seeing you yet anyways.
Am I on?
No,
Can you see me?
No, you're not.
Start my video.
Are you LGQ7?
Yes, yes, that's me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think you just unmuted.
there you are.
Yeah.
Am I on now?
Yes,
Video? Okay.
Now your video. Are you able to share your screen and all that fancy stuff?
No, gee, I can't do that.
You can't do that. How do you do Zooms to boards? Well,
We've done Zoom meetings and haven't learned the screen sharing yet.
You gotta get with it, Ron. All
right
right.
in the middle, at the bottom.
A lot of people here might be able to teach you that, actually. They're pretty
Yeah,
simple.
there. You're on
Now,
a PC, it's in the middle on the bottom, it's green, you click that and you're sharing it.
you share whatever's on your screen.
Yes.
Ron, you want to take a shot at that?
I don't have anything on my screen. I'm on my phone. I'm not on my
Oh,
computer.
I see.
Oh,
You can tell by the aspect ratio of his image that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
it's
on a
gotta be
computer.
phone.
all
Let me
right.
just see.
All right. Well, Ron, this is, well, first, I guess I gotta be a little less formal and ask for a motion to shift out of the agenda to the, what is that I printed out? Obviously, it's not the right one. It's 2019. Wonderful. I printed out the January 2019 meeting for myself. That's awful effective, isn't it? So anyone else who has the agenda can identify the a new business, the
Doc application
doc application, please.
for 112 Riverscape.
Yes, sir. What number is that? It's new business 1. Is that G1 by any chance?
Yes.
It is.
It's
Yep.
G1, yeah, correct.
G1.
Could we have a motion to move to item G1 on the agenda, please, just for
So
format?
moved.
Andy,
Second that.
Dave Stewart. Okay, all right, moving, guys. All those in favor, let's see, or I gotta get back to my stupid minutes here so I can have names. Going the other way, Charles Lawrence,
Hi,
Jason Claremont,
Aye.
Phyllis,
Aye.
Paul Duarte, you with us yet? Nope, doesn't seem so. Andy,
Aye.
Greg Banner,
Aye, aye.
Dave Stewart,
Aye.
and the chair says yes. Okay, so now we're on the G1, although the chair doesn't have the right agenda. Okay, Ron, you're on deck. Who did that?
Jason did.
Jason, you're a wonderful man. I don't care what anyone says about you. Ron, can you see that?
Yeah, that's very good. That's my plan.
That's
I have it
good.
in front of me in paper.
Okay, so tell us about this doc, the whys and the wheres and all that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, so the applicant wants to have a dock. I applied to CRMC. It's gone out to public notice. Obviously, you guys got notice. Basically, docks, as you probably know, CRMC allows them to go out to 50 feet beyond mean low water. I always put these things out if there are other docks around. I generally put these out to the limits of where the other docks are. And you see that in the aerial photo that there are docks to the north and the south. And so basically I just draw a line and try and get a little more water depth for people in general in case they have a sailboat. So I went out to 70.7 feet beyond mean low instead of the 50. So I'm almost 21 feet beyond what's allowed sort of by right, if you will. And that's just a multiple of the pile spacings. When I started the dock at the platform end and went out into the water, 10-foot pile spacings, that's kind of how it turned out, where I got out to a line connecting the docks to the south and the north. So again, just trying to maximize water depth in case somebody's got a sailboat or some other future owner of the property has a sailboat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we were talking about this just before, when we were talking about on an earlier action item about sea level rise. What are you doing about the elevation of the primary pier?
The elevation is at 8 above mean low water. So I went out on a low tide and measured mean low water. And I typically set the deck elevations at 8 because I don't like to see them up too high. It makes the ramp down to the float, steeper if the deck elevation is higher. So generally I have found 8, elevation 8 above mean low to be a good working elevation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now our comment was, and for those of you who I'm not sure and who are not on the committee, when I put in my doc, Ron was my engineer. My dock is a little higher, and I wish it were higher still, because on some of the king tides, the 5.5s we're getting around, I'm getting wave slap that comes up underneath the main pier. It's not hitting per se, but the spray is getting up through the slats. So that tells me that, and that's with a good rolling westerly, whether it be a north or southwesterly, when you have good wave action. So you may want to consider recommending and just make a longer ramp to avoid the angle becoming too steep.
What elevation did you set yours at, Bruce?
I quite honestly don't recall. I'll have to check on it.
In 25 years, we could easily, unless the world gets serious about about global warming, we could easily have a foot or 2 extra water.
Right.
Sea level, it'll be higher for good reasons about circulation. It's going to rise more off in New England than it does on average. So us getting a foot to 2 feet is really likely in 25 to
Yeah.
age that dock will be.
So you may want to consider that, Ron, talking with your client and such about the construction of it.
I'll discuss that, and you make a good point about it is an open area and you get some pretty good fetch there, and so you do get some pretty good wave action.
Yeah, it's about both the northwest and the southwest. That's where you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly. Are you proposing a hoist of any kind for the float itself?
No float lift or boat lift.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other members of the committee want to comment?
I guess the only thing I'd say is if the dock was raised more and then the ramp lengthened, that would obviously bring the floating dock out even further past mean low water, I would assume. So
Unless of course you hold back on the pier.
right.
Well, I probably, quite frankly, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I can pick it up a foot without making a big difference in the steepness of the ramp, just the way it is. So, I mean, it doesn't make a big difference. If you're up 10, 11, 12, then it makes quite a difference. But I think a foot should be okay.
Why don't you do that?
Any other comments?
No.
Seems like an extremely straightforward application.
And I just have a question in general on the dock. Is there a minimum distance from dock to dock? I noticed how you.
CRMC likes to see 50 feet between docks.
All right. Thank you.
What's the closest one to that dock right now?
It's more than 50 feet.
That's 70 off.
Yeah, if you look at the aerial, there seems to be more, there seems to be probably more in the order of 75 feet or so to that dock to the north.
There's a lot of space there.
Yeah, and that's was Tom Foley's old dock, and that I've been on that dock. That goes out pretty far. And this one even goes further, right?
No, this doesn't go quite as far as that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, if you look at the aerial, I drew a line between the dock to the north and the dock to the south. I drew a line, and this dock doesn't go out quite that far.
So he had a variance when he put his in, or was before guidelines or something?
Yeah, probably. It looks that way. It looks as though those other two docks, either that or they were built predating CRMC, you know?
Sure.
The one of the standards we put on our recommendation, Ron, is that the illumination on the dock be low voltage downlighting. So
Yes.
we don't have water, glare on the water kind of deal. We don't want spotlights and that kind of thing.
Yes, I have that. I've indicated low voltage lighting every other pile just to illuminate the dock without being glaring light, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the float going to be?
I'm sorry?
Where's the float going to be? At the end or off to one side or the other?
No, at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a 10 by 15 standard size float right at the end.
What kind of pilings are they using?
To secure the float?
The whole dock?
Oh, how many pilings total?
What type of piling are they using?
Oh, I'm sorry, pressure treated pine.
The cost of wooden materials going up as they have been, we might start seeing Pearson pilings actually be price competitive.
Exactly.
Was told by Mike Fonska the other day that a standard 2x4 has gone from being $2.50 to almost $10.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty staggering. Sheets of plywood from $20 to $40. All your houses just got more valuable, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so it doesn't seem like we have any issues with this doc that I can hear from people talking or not talking.
No.
Anyone care to make a recommendation? As in the form of a motion.
I'd make a motion, we accept it as shown.
Anyone care to second that?
I'll second it.
Who was
Yeah.
that?
Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Thank God you two guys are awake. Okay, starting again with Charles Lawrence, please.
Aye.
Jason Claremont,
Aye.
Phyllis. Is
Aye.
it Ibottom? How do you
Yeah.
pronounce it?
Ibbotson.
Ibbotson.
Yeah.
Okay.
like an Ibbot, but
In the next 5 or 6 years, I'll get it. Ibbotson. Paul Duarte is not here. Andy Sundberg,
Aye.
Greg Banner.
Aye, and I would like to, can you clarify what the motion was?
To approve the doc as presented.
Okay, so
Correct.
we approve, we aren't recommending approval to somebody else?
That's correct. We send a letter on behalf of the town to the CRMC with docs that says that we recommend approval as presented. We put usually our standard condition is that low voltage downlighting, and no glaring light on the water. It's usually something that Roger used to bring up, and it's appropriate, I think, no matter when and what.
Okay, so I'm just confirming the language, so we're recommending approval of the proposal. Thanks.
That's correct. I presume you're voting aye. David Stewart,
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So we have unanimous approval. Ron, thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody.
You too.
Bye, Ron.
Thanks.
Okay, so I have this lovely situation of not having the actual agenda. I printed one out for myself this morning and printed out last year's January agenda like an idiot.
I can read it to you.
Yeah.
Actually,
No, actually, this is not last year's. This has got, but for some reason the doc is not on this one. I don't know why. Oh well. Seapowet and Fogland correspondence. I have not, as I said, we haven't received any. I haven't heard anything from the DPW regarding that. The correspondence sent out last month. The Powhatan and Fogland boat ramps. Again, no action on those. Any luck, Andy, with your research on how to, thank you.
yeah, I have successfully gotten the data into the QGIS program that can read it. And now what I'm trying to do is to figure out how to overlay it on top of a nautical chart of the same region so that it'll be very clear what we're looking at. So I'm halfway there.
Oh, wonderful. That's
That's great.
spectacular.
Great job.
Well, not yet. I got to get the other half.
Okay.
Hey, Andy, just real quick, Andy, I know you can bring nautical charts in as not vector products, but I think raster products in QGIS.
And that's the approach that I've been told to take.
yeah,
and
it's
I can
not
make-
elegant.
and
It brings them in kind of all, like just basically slaps the map as a image almost on top of the, in the appropriate place. So, but
Yeah, which is the approach I'm taking. And then there's a way to toggle transparency between the layers.
mhm.
And that's where I am right now. I'm not sure
Right.
exactly what it'll look like when I get there,
Yeah,
but that's the
okay,
approach I'm taking.
sounds good.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so now let's see. Digging landing. I haven't heard anything from the town DPW, which doesn't surprise me. Flood mitigation pole grant elevation straps. I have reached out to this gentleman. I have not heard back, but I have to try to make it a higher priority. I've been swamped at work, and my efficiency has obviously not been there, thanks to 20 days of quarantine and such. Aquaculture ordinances, sort of in the same boat as that. Aren't I a thrilling guy tonight? The harbor management plan incorporations and adding stated some dates via Zoom and other means. What are people's plans with regards to doing anything? It's, I guess that's probably the best way to start. Is anyone going away anytime in the next couple of months, or?
Don't we wish?
Yeah, no, we wish.
I've got shoulder surgery in a couple of
Oh,
weeks.
no.
It's going to put me up. I could probably get in front of a computer. I don't know what kind of state I'll be in, but
Drugs will make you more interesting.
yeah,
Jason.
right. Think creatively, maybe. So
Yeah. All right. And how about you, Mr. Banner? You're not being shipped off to save the world anywhere, are you? That you're aware of?
I'm just wondering about the possible inauguration coming up. I might be gone for a couple of days at the most, but other than that, don't know of anything else.
That would be the 20th of January.
Theoretically, yes.
Oh, gee.
Been
Hopefully
going on
not.
for a while.
you know something we don't, Greg?
Greg only goes to national emergencies, so that'll tell you a lot.
All right. So I think the last time we talked about this, we decided, obviously not Friday nights, and we considered a possibility of maybe a Saturday or so. Does anyone have any preference in that regard?
I prefer weekdays personally, but that's just me
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
being retired
too.
and lazy.
All right. So I'm going to try and sit down and look at the calendar and such, and make some suggestions, some proposals of dates and such, so we can see if we can start moving forward on the harbor management plan.
Weekdays is fine.
What's that?
So weekdays is fine with me too. It could be weekend or weekdays. Either.
Okay. And so then, Tyler, what's the status of the boat? Tyler?
Yeah, the
Okay.
boat's hauled out for the winter,
Yeah.
and it'll be getting its yearly service.
Where is it currently? Is it,
It's at Maritime.
that you find it's cost effective to store it there and have them service it versus paying
Yep.
someone to drag it back and forth and such? Yeah.
Well, it's still getting. They're still having to haul it.
You're breaking up a bit. Okay. And how about mooring renewals? Have we started sending those out?
They're in the process. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I already got my love note from Bristol.
Yeah.
For anyone who thinks we're charging too much, Bristol's charging me $329 for being a non-resident.
They also have a lot more amenities and services over there.
Yeah, that they do. They have remote pump out services.
Newport's 450.
All right. Well, as you can probably tell by looking at me on the screen, I am tired. Maybe it's a leftover COVID gem. But does anyone else have anything that's worth talking about or for the good of the order?
I actually just had a question on
Sure.
the dinghy landing at Stonebridge Abutment.
Right.
What are you looking for in that? And the only reason I'm asking is because I have like a full set of plans of that Stonebridge Abutment at my house. I don't know if I have the original TPW or.
Okay. Yeah, we actually have some plans
Okay.
that were the original plans from Coastal when the original thingy, that pier was put out there. And we've done some research on this, not this December, but last December. David and I went out and checked out the filings, and we, isolated them pretty well. And last year we had the town's capital budget approval of 10 grand to put in the docks and such this summer. But that obviously didn't go, when I said we had the capital budget, we had the budget committee and the town council saying, yes, this is what we're going to do. But obviously it didn't come to pass because they couldn't totally pass the budget. And there is a gentleman, Fred Souza, who's an advocate of this. He's a volunteer. He's a landscaper guy. He's he's nudged us on this. And indeed, the director of the DPW ironically put in the exact same budget we sort of put in. He put one in that was based upon his analysis of what costs were going to be, man hours, so on and so forth. Ours was based upon we've been around this long enough. We anticipate this kind of expense. We don't know exactly where it will be spent. And it was the exact same dollar amount, $10,000. So now we're trying to see if we can get volunteerism going, and hopefully, next summer will be far more normal, and there'll be enough vaccines around that people will be able to be active and involved and on the waterfront more readily than they were this year. So that's, but if you're not sure which set of plans you have. Dave, do you have a set of Dave was on the abutment committee as well.
I don't have any plans. Phyllis, can you find out what they were dated? Is there any date on those plans?
Yeah, I can look right now if you want, or I can just send it after the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that the dates would have been 2018.
Those are recent.
Yeah. So Tova, for those of you that don't know, is my daughter. She, for her senior project at the high school, she worked with DPW on that whole Stonebridge abutment. So and she actually presented it to the town council at one point and was supposed to be back or presented to some board, I can't remember. So I have what her plans were plus what DPW plans were and all that, but it's 2018. And I remember seeing the dock stuff on it too. So I'll
Well,
look at,
it'd be very good to get all those plans. The more we have, and Bruce,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I
Yeah,
mean, the more we have, the better. I mean, that is such a valuable resource. We've got to do something with it.
Absolutely.
all right.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, that, and I'd still like to pursue the idea of some kind of landside dinghy storage in that same general vicinity. There's a certain number of dinghies, they're probably just trespassing. I don't know. That are on that wall.
Yeah.
Well, there could be a kayak racks. I mean, that is such a valuable place. It's discouraging. We got to kick butt.
Yeah. Yeah, I had everything. I mean, the plans had stuff for the fishermen and boaters and, kind of took care of all.
Right.
Yeah, I'll look at the dates and then, I don't know, Bruce, if you want to see the plans or.
Well, what we have to do is see if we can figure out a way of getting those electronically, or the engineer involved may be able to send us a PDF that then can be shared, and we can get fancy screenshots.
Oh, yeah, actually, Tova may still have that on her computer because she was using that same program that.
Okay, cool.
I've had great success at taking large documents to Staples and having them turn them into PDFs.
Yeah.
Even at resolutions as high as 600 DPI for very, very large drawings. And that's always an option.
Staples right up here in Fall River?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do.
Bruce, I think this is a very high priority. I think we've really got to move forward on this as much as we can. The facilities is there, the docks are there, we have drawings, and I think we could get the public involved so there wouldn't be a big expense. We've got to do it.
I agree. All right, so we'll make sure we jump on that more next week. Phyllis, you're gonna see if we get your daughter's plans. I believe back at my office, I have plans as probably with the doc plans, and probably, knowing me, scan them into my directory.
Yeah, I'll see if she has the electronic copy. If not, I can make, do the same thing at Staples, get it made into a PDF to send to everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious as whether I can do that. Let's see, what do I do? How do I get this screen a little smaller? There we go. Let's see if I can. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but let me see. I'm going into my office right now to see if I have it in my computer there. Yeah. Open up. Mhm. That's not what I wanted. Nope, don't seem to have it there. Sorry. So let's see. I wonder where I have to go back to get back to you guys.
Yeah, I've got something else to ask about when we want to go to it.
Yep. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, just, I'm thinking about the harbor management plan. If we don't want to take a lot of time, but at our next meeting,
Mm-hmm.
this meeting, do we want to at least discuss the methodology? You know, maybe I think Jason has the latest probably that he had been working on. Maybe put it up on the screen and, you know, kind of discuss in general what it looks like now and anything we can do to save time. I mean, otherwise, if we dedicate a specific day, we might be starting from scratch, and we could save some time and prepare better if we kind of talk about the document and look at it a little.
That would be excellent. We could do that. We can make that our focus of the February agenda, doing those things. I guess that moving forward. Okay. That's an excellent idea. Jason, do you have it in a format you can relatively readily share? You've been not surprised.
I should. I just don't know what sort of state I'll be in to be able to participate in the
When's your
meeting.
surgery?
I think it's the 15th of January.
Oh, you'll be fine by then.
Should be all right. Yeah, a couple weeks. It should be all right. Yeah.
Ed,
Well,
If
good
not,
luck.
if not, I'll pass it on to somebody savvy and make sure that.
you doing a rotator cuff?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, they're fun.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
luck.
Yep. See you in the summer.
It's not so bad. My brother discovered that using a 750 bottle of wine was excellent weight for working on his range of motion. Then you had the anesthetic
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's the doctors that say you'll be up and running in no time, and their clocks are broken.
Yeah. Well, my doctor's saying you're not moving anything for 3 months. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know,
So
yeah,
I'm hoping he's broken too.
You don't have a lot of strength in it for a while. He's right.
Noodle arm.
It is from a PT perspective. It is a lot of Advil.
Mm.
There's a lot
So
of
if you send me the latest document, I can do the screen share magic
Yeah.
stuff during the meeting and that piece of it for sure.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share the Google Drive folder again. It's a big document, so I'll share the Google Drive folder again, so it's on everybody's email. Send it around again.
Okie dokie. Very good. Can't believe I did this to myself. Oh well. Guess I will consolidate all my agendas from 2020 into their own folder, and that way I won't make that mistake twice. Any other comments?
Be ready for my motion.
I
Happy
am.
New Year.
Happy New
Okay,
Year, yes.
so I move, we adjourn.
I
I
second,
second that.
I third it.
All in favor?